everyone, this is Rachel, and as you can see from the title, I am here sharing a kit I made. Now, for me, I make kits when I am no longer excited by the products the way I have them organized currently. So I normally scrapbook by manufacturer line. That's just how I do it. It's how I enjoy it. It makes it easy for me, and that's great. But sometimes I am no longer inspired by my product, and so then it sits there, as is the case with my Christmas stuff. I mentioned back in a previous video that I had a ton of Christmas, but I wasn't going to buy any more Christmas stuff. But the truth is, I'm not super excited by my Christmas stuff. So that's why I would just buy something new, because new and exciting is awesome. But the truth is, I bought it, and I liked it when I bought it, and I still really like it. I just wasn't super inspired by it. So, as part of a message board I am a part of, we are doing a Christmas and July event, and one of the challenges is to make a kit, a themed kit by Christmas. Now, obviously, you can make a themed kit about anything, whether it be summer, or a birthday kit, or a travel kit, any of those. In this particular case, I am doing Christmas. Now, for me, I am not going to reinvent the wheel. There are plenty of resources out there, either through paid classes. I know Nicole Jones has one. I know Victoria Marie has one. There's also free information on, I'm assuming you can most likely get it on Pinterest. Also, throughout the Facebook groups and on YouTube, there are tons of people who do homemade kits. And obviously, you can also purchase a Christmas or holiday kit, or any type of themed kit. I know I bought a winter kit from Click Kits last year, so it works. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is I'm going to go the way I find most people go, and that is by starting off with an inspiration piece. Now, for me, normally my inspiration pieces are pieces of paper, and that's just, I like to start off with something that has several colors in it. I like to start off with something that I really like, and I tend to really, really like paper, so that's where I start off with. So I am going to start off with this piece of paper. This is actually from an older Heidi Swapp paper pad. I was going to say Color Shine, but that is not correct. Anyway, I don't know what it is. I did not actually purchase this paper pad. I got this piece of paper from when a friend destashed. So for me, this has multiple colors in it. It has a nice bold pattern, and I think it will be a great jumping off part for my kit. My next piece of paper comes from an older Pink Paisley line called Yuletide. Now, it is a ledger paper with gray dots on it. Now, you might not see that in here, but in actuality, the creamy background piece, which isn't exactly white, has a lot of gray in it. There's also lots of gray little faux ink spatters throughout the paper as well. So I thought that went really well. This is double-sided, and I might use one of the numbers from it, but I actually picked it for this side. Next up, I wanted another multicolor piece of paper. This time I went with something a little bit newer, and this actually just came into my stash in January. I got it as a gift for attending a crop. We got the entire collection pack of Photoplay paper, Dear Santa. So this is called Trim the Tree, and this is actually somewhat newer, so if you love it, you might be able to find it. So on one side we have all the ornaments in different shapes, and it's got that same true red, and then the bright green, and then also a beige color and a gray color. And the B side of this is just a tone-on-tone, almost linen textured piece of paper. I actually picked it for this side, but this side is workable as well. Next up, we have another piece from the Heidi Swapp paper pad, and this is this tone-on-tone snowflake pattern paper that does have a faint musical note background as well. And it's same thing. I liked the neutral tone of it. I do like to have some sort of a neutral in my papers when I'm using a kit. I find it works great for layering pieces. It also works great to separate a photo from a background if needed. I have one more piece of paper, and that is this one from Pebbles Home for Christmas. This I picked up a couple of years ago. Yeah, this is 2014. Now this one I bought just on its own. I did not buy this kit. I just purchased this piece of paper because I liked the music notes on it. Now, making a kit is a great time to go into those one-offs you bought, or when you're down to just a little bit of a particular line. So in this case, I only had this piece of paper from this line. In the case of Yuletide, this was actually, I had bought the heck out of Yuletide. I bought everything for Yuletide, and this is actually my only full-size piece of paper left in it. I have a few bits and bobs left in the embellishments, but for paper, this was the only full-size piece I have. Now, obviously, my scraps, I can take those and make Christmas cards with them, easy peasy, but for the full size, I was glad to add that to this kit. One last piece of paper, and it is once again my Yuletide, and it's just a scrap of 3 cut apart cards, and then the B side is this mini dot, and I just thought it went really well, both this side with the dots, and then also having some cut apart sheets, which can be quite useful all the time. Okay. So that is my paper for this Christmas kit. Next, we're going to go to embellishments. Now, my embellishments fall into 2 categories. Either stuff I bought and never used, or stuff I bought, used, and then went on to newer and shinier stuff. So making a kit from your stash is a really great time to tackle both of those things. Both the stuff you bought that you never used, and also that stuff you have where you only have a little bit left. So just, put it in your kit, because you never know, you might use it. Now, you might not use it, and there's no punishment for that if you don't end up using it, but it's just, I find personally that if I have something sitting out, I might go, oh, you know what, that would actually really work. So those are my categories of embellishments. So going back to having used part of it and still having some of it left over, I've done a couple of December dailies, and for both of those I used Simple Stories Christmas lines, and the one I did in 2013 I used Claus & Company, and I have these alpha stickers and these circular stickers. These both came in a snap pack that they have. And I thought these might go well. I might be able to use these. This is actually out of frame, so I'll put these over here. So we've got this red foil alpha, and then we also have these circular stickers. Also, in that same vein, I had these Claus & Company alpha sheet. I have quite a few, especially, look at all my E's. When have you ever seen that, where all of your E's are in place? What? Oh my goodness. So I have quite a few of these larger black ones. I've got a decent amount, although I don't have any A's. I only have 1 E left in the red. And then these little tile ones, I don't have a ton left because I used a lot of joining words for those. And then I've got a couple phrase and word stickers as well. So that is going to be my first, not really embellishment, but alpha. From my Photoplay Dear Santa line, as I said, I received this pretty recently, back in January. I still have plenty of stickers left here, and I thought it would be great to pull in that creaminess that this particular line had, as opposed to the majority of my other things, which has a lighter bit of cream, but has a lot of that tan color in it, so it melds together. I also have these 3 flare. Now these are flare I made myself from, my friend Deb has a flare making machine, and someone had a 6x6 paper pad filled with these circles, so I just cut them, used a punch to cut them out, and then made flare from them. And I had these 3 left over. I've used them in other layouts, but I happen to have these 3 left over, so I thought, hey, I will just go ahead and add it to this kit, and maybe I'll use them. In that same vein, I have this one lone Brad from Teresa Collins Tinsel and Company. I mean, this poor little lonely Brad that is just completely left over. So there has to be a way for me to use this Brad. I will find a way no matter what. That is my mission for this kit, is to use that Brad. Okay, I've got 2 more items that I just have a little bit left over. I have, from the Yuletide collection, these candy canes. Now, I used all the round enamel dots that came in this set, but I have not touched the candy canes. They aren't a go-to thing for me, so these might not actually end up being used, but I figure I will add it, I will consider them, and we'll see what happens. Also, I have, once again, from Teresa Collins Tinsel and Company, these tags. Now, I don't have a ton left. I actually use these for a Christmas project, so I only have maybe 6 or 7 left, and it actually might be less than that. I had been crossing them off when I was making my Christmas project because I wanted to make sure I didn't have like colored things in a row. I was making a Christmas countdown. And so I don't have a ton of these left. So once again, that's a great place to add things to a kit, is when you don't have a ton of them left and you'd like to get them out of your stash. All right, now moving to something completely different, rather than things you have left over, is things you purchased but never used. And that for me are these stickers from My Mind's Eye. They come from the line Sugar Plum. Once again, I did not buy anything else from this line. I just found these, I believe, at an expo somewhere, and I thought they were super pretty. The color is hard to work with. They are not quite silver, not quite gold. They are definitely in the platinum family. So, sorry, I had a little interruption there. So, as I was saying, there definitely are a platinum color, so I've pulled them out a couple of times, but I've just found them a little difficult to work with. But hopefully I will be able to do so in this case. All right, almost done here. Just a couple more things. This is getting a little embellishment heavy. That tends to be how I run. I do have what's left over from the Yuletide collection, the ephemera pack, which is a lot of acetate pieces, which is not my favorite thing to work with. So I do still have some cardstock pieces left, and we'll see if I can work in some of these acetate pieces. Whether they will work or not, I do not know. If you are not one who tends to use a lot of embellishments, you can limit it to 2 or 3 embellishments, and if that makes you happy, absolutely. If you're one who likes cardstock bases and you want to add in cardstock, you go, girl. Make a kit work for you. Make sure you have what you need to make a layout in your kit, and then it becomes a lot easier to do. And if you're not one who makes kits, I totally understand that as well. You know, it's not something you have to do. I just find it's something I can do to kind of jumpstart me back into scrapbooking if I have been just kind of, I'm not into scrapbooking right now. All right, I have 2 things left. This one, I have these Comfort and Joy stickers, and I only have 3.5 stickers left. This I got as part of a kit from the scrap room. So this is, I think, a couple years old. And I have one last thing for this kit. I, for some reason, had this gutted piece of white cardstock in my kit. I have no idea if I'll use it, but I figure if I put it out there and I have it, maybe it'll work. Maybe it won't, but it's a gutted piece of white cardstock, so I'll be able to use it at some point in the future no matter what. Alright folks, that is my Christmas in July kit. Hopefully that helps you out in trying to make your own kit. So I look forward to hearing from you if you are one who makes kits or if you are one who does not make kits. If you have any questions, you can just leave it down below in the comment section and I will get back to you. I do try to answer the majority of my comments sometime within a couple of weeks of when they're made. It just depends on what my time availability is. Alright folks, thank you guys for joining me here. If you could flick me a thumbs up, that would be super awesome. Have a great day everyone. Bye!